work. A lot of factors prove that we are supposed to have something tangible doing. So, as we examine opportunities, it simply means that no matter your cadre in the society, that there are business opportunities you can engage in. From the age of 11 to the age of retirement, we are wired to work, and there are so many things we need to do. So we have to look at that strategy of doing this business, and as well look at the opportunities therein. Okay, let's go. Are you there? Okay. Let's go. Now, we developed this teaching after COVID. Why did we do this? Because in the history of the world, there has never been a time that 4.5 billion people were indoors at home for sake of COVID or any other pandemic. And about 4.5 billion people were not working during the COVID. The consequence is massive. And we took it down to 1919. By 1919, we had the worst form of pandemic called Spanish flu. That Spanish flu took about 20% of the entire people of the world. Then there were about 500 million people in the world. So about 20% of that number died as a result of that Spanish flu. Between 2019, yes, and 1919 and 1929, the world experienced the worst form of economic difficulty that was called economic depression. The world entered a depression in 1929. Now, by that 1929, till date, there has never been hardship as compared to that. The nearest to it was 2008, when the world experienced an economic meltdown. An economic meltdown. Then by 2015, Nigeria entered economic recession. So there are three terms that describe economic hardship: meltdown, recession, and depression. So 2020 was recession, 2008 was meltdown, 1929 was depression. And since then till now, there has never been anything like that. Now, it took 10 years for the gravity of that pandemic to affect the world economically. 10 years. Many countries of the world are yet to recover from COVID pandemic. Liabilities and insurance claim alone can sink the entire American country. China opened up last year. The citizens began to protest. Open the door for Africans to come because we are dying of hunger. We are crying in Nigeria, but there are some crying more than us. But they are managing information well. Between 1929 and 1959, 25 richest companies in the world collapsed. 1929 to 1951, 25 richest firms in the world collapsed. These are consequences when we have issues like pandemic. So we began to look at the fact that 10 years after the Spanish flu, there was economic depression, and we said that the global impact of this COVID will also come cumulatively. We know that people lost their job, and we said that the future impact will be devastating. We began to see what is happening today, a situation where the government can no longer be of help. 2021 budget was funded by public servants' savings. The money was put from your pension account. It was 8 trillion naira budget, 6 trillion were removed from your pension account. Time is coming when you retire, there will be no pension. If you like, say I cover it with the blood of Jesus. It's about failing economy. Time is coming. So 2021 budget was funded with pensioners' savings. 6 trillion out of it was moved from that account. It's interesting to let you know today that the money government is owing 50 years to come, Nigeria cannot finish paying. I even heard that National Assembly is advising the president to stop borrowing. One thing is to advise, another is to be to advise. So you see that a lot of terrible development financially are setting. I said it yesterday, so very soon, vehicles will stop moving during the day, they carry food, because people will vandalize them. A lot of things are happening. Crime and criminality is on increase. Every day. Every day. Things continue to fall apart. Reason with the center cannot go. On your mandate, on your grass, stand on his mandate. And let's see how Nigeria will move forward. So how, when these things are happening, what are we going to do? To wait for the government to solve their problem is disastrous. Waiting for government to solve their problem is what? Disastrous. So you have to become your own Minister of Finance, your own government. You have to create a system that will sustain you and your family. That's why we're examining business opportunity today. It's really going to affect you because of the light therein. Okay, let's go. Let's go. And I said that there are things spiritualize our suffering. And I'm going to ask you now, if I mention these two words, these two conditions, if you know the one that glorifies God, shout it from where you are. Between hunger and adequate feeding, which one glorifies God? Between indebtedness and debt freedom. Between homelessness and good shelter. Between begging and giving. Borrowing and lending. Embarrassment and honor. Insufficiency and abundance. Life suffocating ministry and life supporting ministry. Can you see? That's why don't just say, I wish above all things that you may do what? Prosper and be in good health, even as thy soul prospers. So when people say, don't mind these people preaching prosperity gospel, excuse me please, what is good news?